welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the world of Agentic AI. We're going to talk about building the ultimate data kitchen for what you can think of as your own personal AI chef. You'll see pretty quickly why the architecture it runs on is just as important as the AI model itself.
Okay, so to get started, let's use a simple analogy. Think of the generative AI we all know and use, like ChatGPT. It's kind of like a recipe book. It's full of great instructions, for sure, but it's static. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is like a personal chef. It gets to know you, it remembers what you liked last week, and it adapts on the fly. It has memory, and that changes everything.
So what technically makes an AI agentic? It's not just about having a bigger language model. It's really about adding these other key components. You need memory to store past interactions, retrieval systems to look up new info, and planning modules to break down big tasks. You put all that together, and you transform a reactive tool into a truly adaptive, autonomous agent.
But here's the catch. There's a huge problem. For this personal AI chef to actually work, it needs a really well-organized kitchen. And honestly, most traditional data architectures out there are a complete mess. Just a bunch of separate, disconnected tools that were never, ever designed to work together. And this messy kitchen, it leads to some very common and, let's face it, really frustrating failures. You've got the latency trap, where every step in the AI's thought process adds these crippling delays. Then there are scaling limits, where the system just chokes when it has to handle the sudden spiky workloads that AI demands. And of course, orchestration fragility, where all those complex, brittle connections between systems are just constantly breaking.
This quote just nails the core issue. An agent needs its memory to be continuous, like a film reel, where every frame builds on the last one. But traditional databases, they only give you isolated snapshots, basically single photographs. And that just breaks the very continuity an agent needs to think straight. So, how do we fix this disaster of a kitchen? Well, the solution is to build a totally new foundation, a modern, organized kitchen designed from the ground up. And the blueprint for that kitchen? It's a data architecture called Distributed SQL.
Let's just compare the two for a second. Traditional databases are rigid, they're fragmented, they just can't handle the wild, unpredictable nature of AI. But Distributed SQL is different. It's designed from the very beginning to be elastic. It can scale resources up or down in an instant and bring all sorts of different data types together, which is exactly what modern AI needs.
And here's the real magic: unification. Distributed SQL lets two critical types of information live together. You have transactional truth. These are the hard facts, like a customer's order history. And then you have semantic meaning. That's the context, like from their emails or support chats. When you bring those two together, you create a truly coherent memory for the AI.
Okay, so we've built our modern kitchen. Now let's look at the recipes. These are the cool application patterns that this new foundation makes possible, letting our AI chef combine all those data ingredients in some really powerful new ways. So let's run through a few core recipes for what's called hybrid search. First up is a semantic transactional join. This is where you filter a broad, concept-based search with hard facts. So imagine finding all support tickets that are semantically similar to a new one, but, and this is key, only for customers who have an active premium account. That's incredibly powerful. You can also enrich search results with more facts to stop the AI from hallucinating, or even use probabilistic joins to connect data when you're not 100% sure, which is vital for stuff like fraud detection.
And this brings us to one of the most important patterns of all: Retrieval-Augmented Generation, or RAG. This whole process is what lets the AI chef look up external, up-to-date knowledge from documents, websites, you name it, before it gives you an answer. This is what grounds its responses in reality and makes them so much more accurate. Let me just walk you through how it works. It's a pretty simple but really powerful four-step loop. First, all that external data gets indexed. It's converted into these numerical representations called vector embeddings. Think of it like turning concepts into coordinates on a map. Then, when a question comes in, the system retrieves the most relevant data using a similarity search. After that, it augments the original prompt with all this new context it just found, and finally, the LLM generates a response that is way more informed and accurate.
Now, inside this system, agents really use two main types of memory. You've got long-term memory, which is for all that persistent knowledge that needs to last, like your name or your preferences. And then there's episodic memory. That's more temporary. It just tracks the step-by-step flow of one single task, so you don't have to keep repeating yourself over and over.
But here's the thing. At the end of the day, all these cool recipes are only as good as the kitchen they're made in.
And that insight kind of shifts our whole focus. Instead of just worrying about the application logic, we need to start demanding strong guarantees from the underlying infrastructure itself. A modern infrastructure for agentic AI absolutely has to guarantee these key things. It needs to guarantee low latency, so we don't fall into those reasoning traps. It has to guarantee elasticity to get rid of those scaling limits, and it has to guarantee governance and accuracy to prevent fragile, unreliable results. The system has to handle this so the application doesn't have to.
And this quote just sums it up perfectly. Applications consume, systems guarantee. The job of the AI agent, the application, is just to ask for what it needs. The job of the system underneath it all is to deliver a reliable, fast, and accurate answer every single time. No excuses.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As AI agents get more and more powerful, basically becoming these expert chefs in every industry imaginable, the quality of their data infrastructure, their kitchen, is what's going to separate the mediocre from the truly masterful. So the real question is your kitchen ready?